Hello, my name is Ronica Arthur. This is my organizational change plan video presentation. I am actually speaking with the owner of my business today, Ms. Jacqueline Davis, about this plan that I hope to implement into our day spa. Prior to this, I've actually met with both her and the general manager about trying to find out different ways that we can find improvement in the spa, ways that we can improve employee satisfaction and client satisfaction as well. With my introduction, I open up on our mission statement here, which is basically we want our clients to live lives that are a little less perfect and a little more balanced, right? That's in our name, Perfect Balance Day Spa. So, as management, we recognize that this is important not only for our clients, but for our service providers as well. With that being said, some of the change plan plans of action, or whatever you want to call them, that we're talking about today are geared towards making these or preparing these employees for success throughout their day. So as we go through this, we'll get into more detail. I also have asked Jackie to ask me questions along the way if she has any. My name is Ronica Arthur again. I'm the project sponsor, so I have developed this plan. I intend to be responsible for assuring that these changes, should they be approved, be implemented in my department. I'm also the massage therapy department manager. Prior to this, we've talked about different ways that we wanted to improve the work experience, or what would you say, Jackie? Like, what different ways we wanted to improve?
Well, I wanted to improve the work environment as well as the quality of services being received as well as given. So I think that's what our industry is it's about providing service, and I wanted it to also reflect that our employees felt like they had the best support possible so that they could achieve the best service that they could give. Mm-hmm. So supporting them is like my main goal.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for filling that void. But yes, so with that being said, some of the project objectives that I've listed out are increased cohesiveness of the team as we go through the different actions that I've outlined. We'll notice how a lot of that has to do with team members looking after each other so that we can all set each other up for success. Mm-hmm. Improved task achievement. Some issues that we've had recently are just cleaning tasks not being done, rooms being left less than satisfactory, and we want to make sure that in the time between services, our team members are on top of things, essentially. Not only because it's important for the spa, but it helps promote this sense of, wow, I really want to be here. Wow, and that ties into adopting a sense of ownership within the company, right? Recognizing that there's a reason why you're coming here every single day. There's a reason why you've chosen this place to work. And how are you going to honor that? By picking up after your own mess, making sure that everybody has each other's back, essentially. Mm-hmm. Increased punctuality is important as well. We've had complaints about clients being brought into their sessions later than their appointment time. So one of the plans involve having employees come in 30 minutes prior to their service to help prep them not only physically with setting their table up and greeting their client, but mentally allowing them to just leave everything out, that doesn't support their ability to work efficiently and
keep us running on time.
Yeah. Exactly. With all of that being said, another and the final objective that I've listed is decrease stress levels for team members, because you recognize if you're in a pinch, if you feel like, oh, I just walked in 5 minutes before my client is here, my client's been waiting 30 minutes, I am now flustered. How are we going to fix that? we talk about that too. So next thing, we're talking about our different objectives and principles that were taken into consideration when we drafted this plan. So some things that are of most importance are timeliness. As Jackie stated, we want to make sure everything's running on time. Unity, so building that sense of fellowship amongst our staff members so that we're all engaged and excited to be here. Having that work-life balance, because you want to be able to excel not only in your craft and your practice at work, but also to feel comfortable at home, not feeling like everything is just weighing down on you. Another thing that we spoke about was being present. So allowing yourself to just be there. I'm here. My intention is to take care of my client, and groundedness. So being able to be present and allow distractions to fall away so you can focus on your task at hand. I do realize that with these objectives and principles, sharing this information or trying to implement this information into our practice might be difficult if it's not introduced to the group in a strategic way. For example, if it's just, hey everybody, let's do this, this is that. I don't know if that makes any sense, but we're implementing these things. There's no talk about why it's significant. Allowing them to recognize that this is for them, this is for us, so that we're all on the same page, we're all successful, we're all ready to show up, and be present. So that's definitely something. Change plan elements, the primary elements that I focused on when drafting this was the people and the culture, because that's basically what we are, right? In the service industry, we are dealing with many people on a daily basis, and in working with the public, we have to recognize that our energy, our perspective, the way that we present ourselves impacts greatly their experience at our place of business. So emphasis is placed on that, and culture, so creating an atmosphere that employees want to be in. These protocols that I've listed in this plan are geared towards creating the most optimal work flow balance, that not only benefits our business, our employees, and our clients, or it encapsulates all of that. Yes. Do you have any thoughts or things so far?
I just think the thing that keeps coming into my head is basically about the balance between the mental and physical part of the employee coming to work and being prepared both physically and mentally for their client, and then how that then translates into the customer being able to receive it in the same way, helping to alleviate some of that stress or whatever their issue may be. I think that if we're balanced and we're focused on the client will feel like they can let that go and let us handle that. But if our mind's not in that position, I don't know how confident they'd feel.
Right. Yeah. So that is taken into consideration with like the punctuality portions of this. Of course, this is like a living document, and we want to continue to revise it and fix it accordingly after it's been implemented, so that we realize or know what works and what doesn't work, because this is just the draft, basically.
Plan A.
Yes. So I guess that kind of covers that next point, the rationale for change, right? We want to make sure that our clients know that we're there. They're our top priority. How are we going to do that? By being present, by showing up to work as our best selves, right? That's not to say that our employees aren't already super great, It's to say there's always room for improvement, and we want to make sure that we're still that high status force in our community, because we've been around for the past 30 plus years actually. Key stakeholders in this particular plan are the massage department. They're going to be the ones implementing the change, right? So they're the ones, I'll just go into it now. So the different actions, right? So they're going to be arriving early, 30 minutes early. It's on the next page. Maybe I like skipped forward.
No, I think
it's appropriate. Okay. So the key things, and there could always be more, having our employees arrive at least 30 minutes prior to their first client. We've realized that allows them to just focus on, okay, I know what my schedule looks like. I know what my expectations are today. Let me tie into the next one, prepare my massage room. So having at least 7 sheet sets in there. Ideally, you want to have the table set with 5 sheets to accommodate. We're on average, we have 5 clients a day per room, more or less, right? Mm-hmm. So doing that, and then having sheet sets in the storage bins in the rooms as well, to ensure that we don't have to go upstairs if we're in downstairs rooms to grab linens. You know, everything's there ready for you, and then arriving at least so with lunch breaks too, arriving at least 10 minutes prior to your next appointment. You know, you could stay off the clock, but being present here, you know, is important. Yeah. Do you want to comment on that?
Room change, or if there's been a change in their schedule since they went to lunch, because that's sometimes that happens. A customer might change what service that they're going to be having, and it gives you time that if something does need to be changed, that you can be a little bit more mentally prepared.
Absolutely. Opposed to I'm stumbling in 2 minutes late from my lunch, frazzled because there was a room change. I had to close the doors between this tandem room, and now I'm running 20 minutes behind, because that happens.
It does. What do you mean there's a change?
Yes. And we want to avoid that stress, right? I experienced that firsthand, and it's emotional.
And we're going to have it.
Yeah.
It's just how it goes with business. But how can we handle it better?
So in the plan, if you, the viewer, take close attention to that, you can see it in more depth with the action, who's involved, when they would implement that action, and how we would measure that performance, because we want to make sure that we're not just implementing change and not recording how beneficial or the opposite of beneficial it is, right? Yeah.
That was how detrimental.
Yes. So that, and then another one which is difficult. I find myself as a member of the massage department taking excess breaks throughout the day when cleaning tasks should be done. You know, allowing yourself that time to realize, hey, you know, the fridge needs to be cleaned, or I've complained about these crumbs on the floor, and I'm just anticipating another team member to clean it up because, quote unquote, it's not my assignment, you know. Shifting that perspective enables you to, again, tie back into that objective that we have of building that ownership, building that sense of I belong here, there's a purpose, it's more than just this paycheck, it's my career, my passion, my calling, you know, and this is my home, so I need to make sure that everything's tip top in the back break room and so forth in my mind, so that my client can relax into their session, right? Essentially, it's
pride. I think that you want to take pride in your job and pride in your environment, because it just makes you feel more organized and settled.
Yeah, absolutely.
And instead of waiting for somebody to see what can you do, it's what can I do.
Right. And then I think that would take us to a greater step forward with the massage department, you know, because we're embodying these characteristics or these values, and it's going to be reflected in our work.
Yes, you'd be great role models for anybody else. that would be stepping into a position that gets to see you guys taking pride in your work. Another reception team member, an esthetician, any other therapists that might be in there. Good role model.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Cool. Next, key stakeholder, executive management. So you and Brittany, owner and general manager. Because this is your business, this plan is changed to abide by what your mission and your goals and outlook are for the company, right? So whether this succeeds or whether this falters, we want to be able to talk about that, and you two are the prime sayers of whatever goes, So I don't know how else to put that.
Well, I think you're right. It's up to us whether we want to change it or not after reviewing it, and then to implement it, maybe a portion of it or all of it, and then review it again and see. And then, like you said, it's a living document. This is something that is going to morph and change as our business grows and changes, or if we have another expansion or whatever might be for the future. So yeah, and I'm just happy to have a plan of action.
Yes, cool. And then we'll talk about when we would want that to be implemented as well as we move forward. There's a few more points. I want to be more brief. I don't know how long this video is supposed to be. But I think we're doing a good job. Assessment of readiness to change, right? So I'm just going to read this out. With regards to communications among stakeholders, only the executive management team has been formally introduced to the conception of this plan, right? So both you and Brittany are the only ones aware of the fact that we're creating something to improve current work operations. These points have also been talked about in the past massage department meeting, right? I personally think that if I'm able to convey this message, you'll be in that meeting too, when we actually intend to implement this or another version of this into our spa operations. I think it would be received favorably, right? Because everybody wants to work in a place that's stress-free, and if they recognize that the reason behind the implementation of these changes is geared towards their success and their work fulfillment level, they'll be on board, most definitely, I think. And I think based on the way that we talked about the issues in the last meeting too, they've taken that to heart and have improved in whatever ways.
They're very willing. I think everybody here has a heart to make things better. I just think it takes leadership, for on our end, and then from them as well, is we need them to buy into this.
Right.
And then the implementation is going to be key.
Yeah.
How we implement it and how we present it.
And how we lead by example.
Exactly.
Right?
And then how are we going to follow up behind it each day, and because I'm sure as we implement this, there's going to be a few things that are going to come up. We might have to
tweak it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? I'm excited.
Yes. Cool. Key change messages have been listed throughout this whole conversation thus far. If you want to go into that a little bit more, you can just read the document. But essentially, our main goal here is to improve client satisfaction so that we can boost our client base by focusing our attention on taking care of our employees, right? Because our employees make the organization, and those are the people that the clients come to see, and we want to make sure that they're in the right frame of mind and that they're prepared to take on their day, essentially. Consolidation, right? So in fusing together daily tasks and attendance, creating changes around those, we think that we're able to achieve this goal of boosting client satisfaction, boosting employee satisfaction, because they're taking responsibility for being present in their work, right?
Yes.
Evaluations, right? So my goal is to implement this at the beginning of next year, right? So a few weeks from now, January 2nd, because that's when we'll be coming back.
Okay.
I mean, that might be too soon.
No, I think that that's really good. New year, new habits,
Right.
new work environment.
So yeah, with that, we'd probably have to do like another meeting, of course, to introduce this. I would like to speak with you more outside of this video to
Yes. Set up a time.
to refine everything,
Uh-huh.
so that we can present it to them. I think the 31st might be a good day if we don't have a lot of clients to have like a brief department meeting.
Yeah.
They can see what the expectations are. We can both spearhead it so that we're able to
Get their attention.
Yeah.
The momentum behind it.
Yeah, shake and bake,
That's right, shake and bake, baby.
And then with that being said, checking in at the end of the quarter with the executive management so that we know what works, what doesn't work, so we can continue to revise these. But that's not to say that me, the department manager, won't be checking in with the individual performances of each staff member and what how they're implementing it themselves, or how they can view different ways to do it better. Yeah. Do you have any questions? That's pretty much it.
No, I'm just looking forward to getting it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm excited.